Hello everybody, and welcome back to Cruz and Tiffany Rumble.
In this video, we're going to be covering this week's Season 1 special event, Early Access to the new hero Dr. Engine. This event introduces the second new character to be released since the game's launch, and serves as the third booster to be included in the game's roster. So we'll be discussing this new hero's abilities, stats, and rewards available to be unlocked through this event.
In the words of Toys for Bob, Rocket Head Cyborg Scientist Bandleader Dr. Engine is here. Don't miss out. This week you can permanently unlock him. He will be returning later for everybody, but this is your chance to get in early for some heavy metal mania. Additional rewards include skins, gear, and more.
So Dr. Engine is finally available, and personally I must say he does not disappoint. As mentioned, the addition of this character introduces a much welcomed third booster to the game's roster, and like the rest of the cast, he has his very own unique set of abilities and playstyle.
To unlock Dr. Engine, you'll have to collect 4 pieces of Rocket Head swag, which seems to be a picture of the heavy metal band's bombastic bandleader, and serves as this event's collectible item. Like in previous events, you'll unlock exclusive rewards by gathering these collectibles during competitive matches.
As usual, these collectibles will pop up in random spots on the map during your games. Like in the Sticky TNT event, there is a limit to how many pieces of Rocket Head swag you can gather at once, with a limit of 1 collectible per game, up to a maximum of 6 collectibles per day, with a grand total of 30 collectibles.
You will unlock rewards for every 4 to 5 pieces of Rocket Head swag that you collect, meaning that it will take a total of 5 days in order to unlock all of these rewards. So unfortunately, we won't be able to fully show off all of this event's rewards, so we'll be putting out a video later this week where we'll go over each one of these exclusive rewards, so make sure to check back later if you want to see all that this event has to offer.
Now let's take a look at Dr. Engine's abilities.
First off, we have his hover capability. By either holding or tapping the jump button, Engine can use his jetpack to gain height as he traverses around the map. I'm probably biased as I have always been a sucker for jetpacks, but I'm already having a great time using this ability as it feels very distinct from the rest of the cast. It definitely feels like using the jetpack is faster than his normal running speed, so you'll most likely be using this ability for the majority of your movement. But you'll want to make sure that you're careful with your timing and aware of your surroundings.
Next, we have his Blast Off ability. This move initiates a high vertical launch with an explosive blast at the start of the move. I've seen another YouTuber refer to this move as Engine's Get Off of Me move, which I definitely find to be an appropriate description as the move does a pretty decent amount of knockback and damage to enemy players.
What I love about this move is how versatile it is, as it can be used in combination with his jetpack ability to flee a dangerous situation, or with his Boombox ability, which we'll get to in a second, and it even does enough damage to finish off enemies who are at low health. Of course, the move does have to be recharged after being used, so you'll want to make sure you keep an eye on the charge meter if you're in a situation that calls for using this move more than once.
Next, we have the Homing Shots ability, which is Engine's basic combat move, analogous to Crash's spin attack, or more similarly, Cortex's default blaster shot. Engine will fire off 3 homing shots at a time, and if there is more than 1 target in range, each shot will attempt to hit a different target. This mechanic is bittersweet. While it sounds fun to be able to attack up to 3 targets at once, if you're by yourself, these rockets already do a limited amount of damage, so you'll definitely want to make sure that you're mixing this move in while using Engine's more powerful attacks.
And last, we have Dr. Engine's special ability, the Boombox. When activated, Engine will drop a boombox to the ground that will repeatedly emanate shockwaves that will damage and knock back your enemies. Like with all special moves, the Boombox also will have to recharge after being used, so make sure you're paying attention to the charge meter if you're trying to use this move more than once.
The Boombox has its own health bar when dropped, and because of the cooldown period after dropping one, it seems like it's not the most effective when used against enemy power-ups like the Flytrap Spitter or the Gazmoxian Guard, but it can be very useful when used against enemy players while trying to hold down a bank or a gem pad. In fact, this ability is required to earn Engine's mastery badge, Gem Jam, requiring you to knock 2 enemies off of a gem within 5 seconds using the Boombox.
Oh, and one other interesting note, the Boombox appears to be the perfect counter to Engine's Boombox. meaning that dropping your boombox on an enemy boombox can destroy theirs instantly, making this a quick and easy way to fight back against a rival engine.
Next, let's take a look at engine stats in comparison to the rest of the cast. While comparing these stats, we'll be referring to the stat meters under the Heroes menu, which are made up of 5 chunks or bars.
First off, Dr. Engine comes in with only 2 bars of health, making it a 3-way tie with Cortex and Catbat for having the lowest health in the game.
Next, he has a Wampa carrying capacity of only 90 Wampa, putting him in a 4-way tie with Coco, Cortex, and Embryo for lowest Wampa carrying capacity in the game. Not that it matters, but I guess it's useful to note, as the rest of the stat meters are a little bit more subjective than the health and the Wampa meters. It's also important that there isn't a relic meter, but being a booster, Engine has the maximum relic carrying capacity of 15, same as his fellow boosters Coco and Cortex.
Next, we have his combat meter, which comes in at 3 out of 5 bars. But again, this stat is a bit more subjective, as any character is really only as useful as the player behind it. For example, Dingodile is the only character in the game whose combat bar is fully maxed out, and while Dingodile is no slouch when it comes to combat, I definitely think it's safe to say that there are plenty of characters that can hang just fine with him in a fight. So don't let this stat fool you. It's not the character that makes the player, but the player that makes the character.
Next, we have his mobility, coming in at 4 out of 5 bars, which I'd say is fair. This puts him on par with Catbat as far as movement ability, putting him second only to Tana and Coco. But as mentioned already, this stat is also a bit subjective, and advanced players will always find a way to maneuver around the map better than less skilled players, regardless of character choice.
And lastly, we have his difficulty meter, which is 4 out of 5 bars. So on paper, he's supposed to be one of the more difficult characters to play, which I guess is fair, as he does have a rather unique moveset and playstyle, but once again, this stat is very subjective, as practicing with any character will always make you more comfortable and familiar with how to play them. For example, I mainly play as Cortex, whose difficulty meter is the full 5 out of 5, but because he's my main, I always get the best results while playing as him. Whereas I hardly ever play as Crash, whose difficulty is only 2 out of 5 bars, yet I struggle way more playing as Crash than I do with Cortex. So like I said, maybe this is chalked up to how complicated their abilities are to use, at least in theory, but ultimately each character's difficulty really comes down to how much time you've spent playing as that character, and how familiar you are with how to use them and how they match up against their rival cast members.
So that's pretty much it for Dr. Engine's abilities and stats. He definitely has a fun and unique moveset, and while his health and Wampa carrying capacity are tied for lowest in the game, his combat abilities, combined with his maximum relic carrying capacity, give him a lot of interesting options on how you want to go about this playstyle. And I would personally say he's already becoming one of my favorite characters. Now let's get to this event's exclusive rewards.
First off, we have the Collectible Rewards, which can be unlocked by collecting Rocket Head swag.
Like we mentioned before, for collecting 4 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock access to Dr. Engine.
For 8 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock the Combustion Engine emblem.
For 12 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock the Destruction Symphony banner.
For 16 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock the Headbanger Top Performer music.
For 20 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock the Insane Moves emote.
For 25 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock Dr. Engine's If I Only Had a Rocket skin.
And for collecting 30 pieces of Rocket Head swag, you'll unlock Dr. Engine's Fast Food skin.
Lastly, we have the special challenges for this event.
For winning 7 matches as Dr. Engine, you'll unlock the Sweet Treat Backpack, a less than appetizing looking legendary backpack made out of a candy cane hot dog and 2 tubes of secret sauce.
And for getting 5 KOs using Dr. Engine's homing shots, you'll unlock the Scheming emote, an epic way for Dr. Engine to show off his mischievous intent.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget that the Sticky TNT power is now officially available to unlock.
In the words of Toys for Bob, Sticky TNT is hero to stay? Sticky TNT has officially been added to Crash Team Rumble. Earn Relic Station badges to unlock this power.
So for any players who missed out on the early access event, you may now unlock this explosive power by earning Relic Station badges during competitive matches.
So that's pretty much it for this video.
Collect the Rocket Head swag collectibles during competitive matches to gain access to Dr. Engine and unlock exclusive rewards, and unlock the sticky TNT power by earning Relic Station badges.
So what are your thoughts on Dr. Engine so far? Let us know what you think about this new hero and his abilities in the comments below.
We'll be putting out a video later this week doing a full review of this event's rewards, so if you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe and check back later.
Until next time, folks.
Keep on rumbling.